we don't know what your balance was at your first default, not
Mm-hmm.
at the charge off. So the rules for us as consumers actually helps us. So what happens is that when your account goes into that default, that's that 30, 60, 90-day type thing. So your first 30-day default, and Regulation F says that when you get your letter, right? Where's that thing at? When you get your letter in the mail from the credit bureaus, I mean from the debt collectors or whatever, and they say you owe a dollar amount, we don't know what dollar amount they're collecting on,
Mm-hmm.
because it only allows us to go, or allow them to go up to 6 months. So if you're going past 6 months, that means they're charging you interest and fees past 6 months.
Wow.
I've seen people's credit report have a $300 limit on the credit card, but they owe 1,200 right now.
Wow.
That's not possible. It's not possible. But we'll look at it as consumers and say, oh yeah, but I owed that credit card. You may
Mm-hmm.
have, but you don't owe that.
You don't owe that. Exactly. You don't owe that.
You don't owe that. So it's always a positive thing, a good thing to understand exactly what it is that you're looking at. We, especially in our communities, we fight emotionally. We want to get practical, but unless we understand some of these guidelines, it'd be hard for us to do it.
Mhm.
So don't and just so y'all know, me, I used to be an actual third party debt collector. At one point in time, I worked for one of the largest companies before there was a big portfolios and all of that kind of stuff.
So Ken, you
And
was one of the people that was calling us and we didn't want to talk to
oh
y'all.
man, we was friends
You was
before
you was taking you was making it hard for people doing Christmas time and birthdays and Thursday talking about some you owe us money.
I made it easy for you because I was everybody on the payment plan.
But look, now thank God, now you on the other side. So
Right, right,
that's
right. Yeah,
twofold. You like, listen, I already know what the strategy is.
yeah. So I got saved now, so I came on the righteous side.
Right, you came on up for us. We thank you.
So, but I use all of that though. I use all of those things to understand. So that's why, these guys, whenever they talk to me, it's a different type of conversation though.
Mm-hmm.
I've had them say, wait a minute, let me let you talk to my supervisor. No,
Supervisor
I want to finish talking to you first.
study.
Because for me, the more information that I gather, that's the more information that I can give to the next person. We've actually talked to people on the phone and got them to do exactly what we needed before we hung up. I need his account deleted off the person's credit report. You got 72 hours to send me notice saying that you're going to do so, or this is our next step. Why? Because the floor person said something wrong, then their supervisor said something wrong, then I've gotten to their manager and I've told them every single thing that they said, and they're saying like, "What? Is that what they told you?" Go back
Yes.
to your call.
Listen to the call.
Sir, how
Now,
can I
Ken,
help?
how about this part one? Because I, it took me some time to do that. When you say, if you have another phone, so if you guys know, we back on live now. If you join in, this is exactly what we're doing. You know who I am. I'm Nakaji. I'm Wealth, and I'm a business funding strategist. We have Ken over here, which is a consumer law specialist. He's the person that to get you the money, right? With this consumer laws when there are different violations. So if you
Mhm.
tune in already on our platforms, what you need to do, two things. Just for a dollar. You know, a lot of stuff is not a dollar anymore, you guys. A dollar, you can go on the link that I provided. Get your consumer report. We're doing a Q&A right now. We went through the presentation to let you know what your consumer report needs to look like. And if you have any of these violations, what Ken was talking about, listen, is money in the bank. Okay. So, Ken, tell me this. I used to have issues with, okay, I'm going to call and they saying they recording me, but I can't record them. Is that
Mhm.
is that true, accurate? Like, why I can't? Can I record them?
Well, you can record them if you're in what's called a one call state. So, for example, I'm in Texas. I'm in a one call state. So what I'm recording is me. I'm recording me. So I
Mm,
don't have to divulge to them that I'm recording them. And nowadays, on your cell phone, if you got a newer cell phone, all you got to do is press the little button and it says calls are being recorded.
come on, Apple. Yeah, come on, Apple. Yeah, I don't like that one,
Mhm.
but yes. So
So
how? What do a person need to do to go? What do we need to go to make sure that we're in a one call state?
you just go online and just type in. which states are one call states. I think it's about, I forgot how many, maybe about 14 states that are one call states. So you
Okay.
can always record the conversation. So even if you say, so this is what I used to do in the beginning. Somebody said all calls may be recorded for quality assurance, and I say mine too,
Yes.
and they'll
Look,
just keep on talking.
and you know the new one, they taking you guys biometrics. I don't like that. You know that they taking your voice to use as your identity. I'm quite sure a lot of you guys don't even think about that, like what that means, right? Any other
Mhm.
time we would have bypassed it. So we can go there to see if we're on a one call state to see if it's that way. So I could record. Now, if I could record, like you said, just have a conversation. Tell us what's like some the top 3 or 5 things that you should do. Because some of us we over talk because we scared, right?
When we're talking to debt collectors or your creditors,
Yes, like when we calling them or they call us. What's the top 5 things that we should at least try to
well,
think? I guess.
this okay. So here's the thing. The first thing we need to first understand is this: if you're talking to a debt collector, you'll hear a lot of people say, "Don't give them no information because then you validate the debt." That is absolutely not the case. That is not the case. All you're doing is identifying yourself. So if you're just identifying yourself, then how is that validating anything? Now, here's the other side of that. A company who's not a party to any transaction, guess what? They can't validate it. Part of the reason is we're using the wrong verbiage. A person can't validate something that they're not a party to. So if you go to 1692 GB, it used the word verification, not validation. So
Mhm.
you look up what verification means. Basically, what they have to do is get something in writing and get it notarized. But debt collectors can never do that, right? Because they're
Right.
not a party to anything. So there's nothing that they could say that will mandate something to be actually true. So that aside, when you're talking to a debt collector, tell them your name, give them your social if they ask for it. All it does is validate you.
Mhm.
Now, to them, one of the first things you always want to do is ask them, do you own this or are you servicing it? Do you own the debt or are you servicing it? Why is that important? Because if in fact the company owns the debt, it's a lot harder for them to verify or validate it. Whenever they validate or verify the information, guess where it has to come from? That original furniture,
Mhm.
not them. So what you'll find is, well, it came back in our favor. Really? So we dispute with you, and you gonna say, well, yeah, we won,
Right. Right. Exactly.
right? So no, that doesn't work that way. So in order for it to not be considered fraudulent, they have to send that and give you that information, and it has to come directly from that original furniture. But here is a potential issue. So let's just say we have ABC Debt Collection Company, and then now they sold it to Midland.
Hmm.
Now we have what's called a down the line buyer. The problem that they're not going to have is that they got it from somebody else. So if you bought it from somebody else and now you're trying to validate it, that's impossible for you to go around that person to go back to the original creditor. You see?
Hmm.
So those two things are the major, major, major important thing. Are they servicing it or do they own it? You want to ask that question. Don't get into the situation where you're saying, um, um, I don't have a contract with you. They know that already,
Right. Okay.
right? They already know that. So if you want to go that route, what you do is you say it this way. Hey, what was the terms and obligation to this contract? They won't know
Hmm.
because you never had an agreement with them.
Hmm.
So there's no way for them to be able to tell you. So if they can't tell you that, how can they tell you what you owe?
Right.
You see,
Exactly.
these floor people have no idea. So we find ourselves always getting worked up behind the fact that they're gonna call and harass you. So here's the thing: if anybody calls you more than 7 times in 7 days, that's a problem for them.
Hmm.
Nobody could call you more than 7 days within 7 times within 7 days.
So what
Sometimes they get
about
2 phone calls a day.
now that some of them they getting very savvy. They use Google numbers. They call you. It be the same company, but they calling you from different numbers, and the
So
number don't say they program.
I'm
They're the name of the
glad you
company.
brought that up. Let me tell you how that's such a thing. Um, I've been a part of 2 companies that got shut down in Houston because that's part of what's called the Caller ID Act. How many of you guys have ever gotten a phone call and you look at your phone and it's in your local area code? You don't think to ask that person if they're local to you, right? If they call you, for example, me, I'm in 817. You got people here in the DFW area, 214-469, all of those different area codes. If they call us, anybody from one of those numbers, and they are not here under the Caller ID Act, that is called spoofing. It is a $10,000 fine for the first call, and it's treble that up to 30,000 each subsequent call.
What? You just wait a minute. You just said somebody's salary in a year
Mm-hmm.
on one call.
Yeah,
How much?
10 grand. Look it up, Caller ID Act.
And what was the 30 grand at? I thought I heard 30
It's
grand
treble damages if they continue to call.
if they continue.
But this is
Listen.
why they do it, kind of what you said. So when they contact you, most people don't answer unknown numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll answer a local number, especially if you got kids, because you could be, hey, my kid, somebody's hurt or whatever the case might be. So they know that you'll probably answer the call if it's coming from a local number, even though they don't recognize it. People answer it. But nobody actually thinks that they're not here. You think, well, you calling from this number, you must be here. No, they may not be. So you ask them, hey, where are you guys located? Oh, we
Mm-hmm.
call from Kentucky. Really? Okay. Record that conversation, hopefully, and just keep talking. Just keep talking.
So just
And
to
then once you
recap,
get to a point, you hang up because what's going to happen is
they're gonna call back.
2 3 days they're going to call you back.
Call you back. They're gonna call you back. Oh my God,
Yeah.
you guys listen. See the knowledge. This is something again that I even for me learning, I just knew about the numbers because I said, wait a minute. They definitely have with my Google business. I don't know how they coming up with these softwares to get your number, but this is the other thing. I have my primary number and I have a secondary number. That secondary number, I just get that number out because I don't like putting my numbers in any, when you're doing any type of membership, I always get that number. So if you're gonna call that number, because I'm not gonna sit here and have you guys call my phone. But I did not know that part because now I'm like, oh, they getting smart. How is they calling with a
Mhm.
local number? And then it's always I'm getting 312-207. I'll block it. It seems like they get mad when you block
Oh
it.
no, don't block them.
They
Unblock
will
them
call
all.
back.
They'll just call because they're on a rotating dialer system. See, that's a double whammy for them. So now you have TCPA and you have the Caller ID Act. So the
Mm,
TCPA is the fact that that's why I said earlier, get on the do not call registry, get on the national do not call registry and the state. So that the fact that you get that phone call. Now, I think when you first sign up, they say give you like 30 days for it to take effect.
mhm.
I don't think that the registry says that, but double check it. So once you sign up on the registry for the do not call, that already is a TCPA violation because you shouldn't be calling me anyway. That's one part. Second part is the fact that now they're calling you with the auto dial type situation, which is the device that they use. That is the violation of the TCPA,
Mhm.
where you get up to $1,500 per call, but typically it's a $500 call until you tell them to stop. Then you add on top of that, that same phone call, that same company, the Caller ID Act. So when you add the Caller ID Act to that, now you're talking about 10,000 to up to $30,000 per call on top of everything else.
Oh wow. I think I'll give me a whole lot of new hair for that.
Yeah.
I'll give me a whole lot of new hair. I can go on some more trips. But no, that's not the right way, you guys. I'm just joking. Of course,
Yeah.
we want to make sure we want to make sure we put some money. We get some assets. We buying some assets, okay? Don't
Yeah.
go. At least you know have the factory who makes the hair. You know,
Yeah.
invest in yourself. Don't
And
go
listen,
and
I'm
spend
gonna tell
money.
you something though. One of the things when we started to really do the litigation stuff about this was back in 2013, I think it was. And what was happening was just that I didn't know. It's the first time I haven't really dealt with attorneys and things like that. And when I saw how easy it was, I said, let me start to learn some of this to see what this is about. And you won't believe how many people that, like for me, I wind up doing in 1 year, I did over $14,000 and I never even used an attorney.
Wow.
That was what I got myself. I still have some of those checks that people can see. And the idea of what it is just because of what I'm telling you now. Because if you notice, we have not talked about nothing credit.
Nothing credit. This is the regular learning of experience, you guys, of internal. And this is what I tell you guys all the time. Being a wealthionaire, me myself, we are wealthy in all aspects of life. It's not about money. It's about what Ken is sharing, pouring into me, us putting experiences together and say this is the foundation. And on top of that, this is where you go to make sure that you're check factoring. To
Hmm.
make sure that you check factoring. Okay.
Yeah.
To make sure that it's right. But it's primary. Again, you guys, I'm gonna send you a couple of information, but we're not talking about credit. But I'm so glad, and I'm gonna ask you another question. But you guys have to actually the bare minimum, even off experience, from experience, to bring that up a little bit, you have to know the language.
Yeah.
Knows the language. Once you know the language, because the experience, no matter how many times I get up and go, I'm going. If I get up, go to the bathroom. What you guys think? What do we use the bathroom for? I'm brushing my
Credit and
teeth.
stuff.
Yeah, something. But it's the language. So if I just keep going up and I just told you I'm gonna go to the bathroom. What you going to the bathroom for? You know, some people they gonna start identifying scenarios of why you going to the bathroom. So it's the same way of making sure that we close this financial gap to make sure that you know the language, you know the scenarios, you know the experiences. You have to start reading, you have to start
Yeah.
understanding certain ways because a lot of this information that Ken and myself are discussing I told you guys that was about 2 years ago. But a lot of certain things that we are doing in the black community, we're doing what the wealthy's doing, but we're doing it in a slave mentality way instead of the ownership way. Right? We're
So
doing those.
let me just kind of piggyback off of what you just said. One of the things that my mentor showed us was that one of the best offenses that you use is the documentation that's sent to you because they know that the way that this stuff is written in legalese. It's not written in plain language. It's like we got different versions of the Bible. You got the King James version, which nobody really can understand, as well as say a New Living Translation type version. Is written in plain language. Well, there's certain languages that's in that's called stuff like a word like conspicuous. It's supposed to be easy reading, right? I shouldn't have to go get a dictionary to figure out what you just wrote, right? So that means that they're putting things in legalese. But once you start to identify certain verbiage that's within it, you'll realize that, like, one, credit reporting is an option. Nobody ever tells us that. But yet you have something, reported negatively. No telecom company reports until it's bad. That's your cell phone providers, your cable companies, internet, stuff like that, right? That's all telecom companies. They only report when you default. You don't realize that you can use that to your advantage. Well, what happened to the rest of my history? You can't show just one part. Credit reporting is both sides.
Exactly.
It's in their agreement that they have to report good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So now the fact that you're a part of this organization, you're paying a subscription for them. Their subscription says that you got to report good and bad. No
Mm-hmm.
telecom company ever reports good. None. Only when it's bad. Your light companies, they don't report you when you pay on time.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
And
they can't just report us negatively. We have to understand that as before we fight. So before we dig into it, we have to understand what we're looking at before we even start.
amen to that. Exactly, you guys. We have to make sure. So again, I think on the other side, maybe there was a couple people, but we're gonna make sure that we pick up for next week. We're gonna pick up for next week. Before we go, how can a person get off the callers list? What's the website? What do they do for those the local? I think you said like the local number. What is it that they need
Yeah,
to do
just
to get
Google
off?
do not. You could. I think it's do not call.com, but you could just Google do not call registry, and you Google that, and then you do it for your state as well. So do both. Do both of them. So now you start to what we call stacking your potential claims. And
Okay.
that's before we even get to talking about the inaccuracies within the credit reports.
Hmm. Okay. So we're gonna make sure that we have a lot more people to come in. I know this is the first. I'm so happy. This is a great thing that I was actually doing today. I'm so happy that I'm actually in alignment with someone that I can trust. That we're here for the people. We actually have an understanding of what we want to do to make sure that we help you guys. So I think we're gonna stay on those days, and we're gonna so I can make the flyer for the next week. But I believe what I had was for Wednesday. Wednesday will be the consumer law slash credit restoration live Q&A, right? So if we can do that for, I was trying to do, even if we probably do it for the month of April, at least we know those 4 days or whichever day that you would think that the people can come back, because you guys got to be prepared. Not gonna be around, because I had a couple of little things. Not gonna be around. We coming on here holding up, or you seeing the ad having the big wallets, because we do got the wallets with all the credit cards, or you having all the cards and all these different things that's behind us to try to get you looped in into paying for something, right? This is something that we're given to say, hey, for $1, Q&A. That's all. Q&A. You can share this live. Next week we're going to be here. Follow me. Is for all of my platforms. It's Wealth in There. You can type in Wealth in There, or just the underscore Wealth in There on a lot of my platforms. Ken, yours is, what's yours? I don't want to butcher it. I know
Yeah,
it, but I don't want to butcher
it's CARC_2022
it.
on
Okay.
TikTok and Instagram.
Okay. Next week we're gonna be fancy, because I seen this studio. We're gonna have to scroll across the screen when they well, they can make sure that they following everything. So we're gonna make sure that we do that. Listen, you guys, I'm going to do one more good, one more good thing for you guys, okay? Because I really want to make sure that you guys get a chance to do what is needed on your end. Share my screen again. Let me know if you can see that, Ken.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I'm talking to every single person. I did something that did something different on the other side. Hold on, let me see here. Okay. All right, you guys. You know my favorite part, and I'll tell you guys another quick story about me. And I really want to say, this is something. Um, I am a private person, right? But when you have a purpose in life and you stop running from it, you have a calling on your life, you start, even though it hurts, you start to make sure that you be obedient, right? I'm a private person. A person you get me on live, being around me is something totally different. I don't like to be broadcast places. I'd rather for a person to have you gotta go through pins and needles to access a person like myself, right? Because you want to make sure that you know what they always say, it's not the quantity, it's the quality. All right. So even for myself, me and Ken, we are quality individuals. My favorite part is on Sundays is when altar call comes or when membership comes. And my pastor always taught, they always be, I used to get so excited during this time, you guys, because I was like, wow, I remember the times that I was just being disobedient. I remember the times I didn't want to do nothing. It's not too much if I wanted to hear or not hear a person. It was just got to a time where I felt that I didn't need to have a elite type of people around, right? I didn't need to have it. I had, you know, my father's side, that was it. Little people from my mother's side, that was it. My basketball community, that was it. And it was really no more than 10 people that I wanted to be around me so they can know me, right? So my favorite part, like I told you guys, the times that we come and what they always call is fellowship. I am offering you guys right now, okay? This is free. When I speak about being a wealthionaire and when God really started telling me about people, who we are. I am part of that black sheep. I am part of, God's chosen. I am part of one of those hard head individuals, or I'm part of one of those individuals that, you know, I don't want to say a rebel, but people attract themselves to me. And sometimes I always just push people away. Right. I just want to push people away because some people you can trust. And I did not have the patience with people at all because my mouth, I really understood, is a sword. The words that comes out your mouth, they are a sword. Thank you guys so much. Oh, that was my first, I don't know who gave me that, but I appreciate that. So I want to invite you guys to become part of the legacy movement. I call these individuals the mental carriers. You're going to be the ones, right, who already know that you're different from your family. You're probably going through hardships, or you're the one that everybody rely on. I have been in that field too, and that is not a good place to be. And if you have been in there, there's a lot of dark days. There's a lot of days that you don't even take care of yourself, or you try to hold a lot of things together. But I created this movement, I created this group where we call the mental carriers. You are the individuals that are going to break. I don't like to say the generational curse. I don't really like to say that because sometimes I feel as though that there's just certain areas in a person's life or the atmosphere that you're around that you just did not know. And because you did not know does not mean that you had to have some type of violation or some type of discrepancy on your bloodline or for you yourself. It was just people that was around you didn't actually see or take time to what we always talk about, to have that harvest. So with this group, you can go on Facebook or you can go onto my social media platform. You can join the mental carriers. We're going to go deep into a lot of different things, not just credit restoration, just building that generational wealth with a lot of different things. I always talk about financial literacy, but after the financial literacy, you have to have the life literacy as well. After we get the money, what you gonna do? Which after you have the money, how you gonna sustain it? Right? And a lot of us don't have the information to do that. And that you're sitting here, I was like the first in my bloodline, six figures. And I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, blew money. How I could not sustain the amount of what I would say um legal money, like that compared to cash, it was something totally different. So I had to learn new behaviors. So I'm asking you guys to go ahead. You can go on to the my bio, join the group. Just join the group. We're going to speak about a lot of different things up in there and making sure that we have everything that's needed. So when I tell you I have licensed officials for trust, insurance, there's a lot of different things that I have for people to come to help you. Okay. That's something we're going to do now. With the days that I said, as far as weekend, after we do that on Wednesdays, we're going to have the consumer class. On my other days, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, what I love, we're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about business funding, how to get you some money, how even if you have a business, because a lot of people have a business but do not know how the do's and the don'ts, right? Definitely, they do not know. So, those are something I'm telling you guys can go into any one of my social media platforms and just register. And you see, see us here again from either day, Tuesday through Thursday. We're gonna be here at 7 p.m. Next week, make sure you guys, I mean the next day, yeah, next week, make sure you bring a friend. Share this information. Sharing is kind, they always say, but I was always gonna tell you, sharing is wealth. So make sure you guys share this information, because if it's not for you, you do not know how you are interceding for somebody else that needs it, right? But primarily, I always say, try to do it for yourself. It took me a long time to try to do things for myself, because I was exposed to a lot, and I used to always think like this is how things supposed to function. But when you're in a certain type of environment and they don't see that there are a wheel, that they go like this, and they see that they're a square and they feel like they flat and they can't go over anymore, it's tough. So just go ahead, and we thank you so much for tuning in with us. Can you guys say anything else to the folks?
Listen, look at those credit reports. Pay attention to those phone calls. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You can always reach out.
Okay, you guys. So again, if not, you can also go to the website. I forgot to put that there. You can go to the website, credit.thewealthinair.com, and you can actually get a live consultation as well. So we're here for you guys, and we see you guys next week. Ciao.
Deuces.